Before we start today's podcast, I'd like to announce I have a new podcast. That's right, Dirtball fam, about my life, what's going on, where I'm at now, where I've come from, the whole 9 yards. So the Andy Ruther Show is now available where all podcast streaming is available. Apple, Spotify, all the other ones, and of course, Substack and YouTube. So this will be very visual friendly. There'll be a lot of visual segments. So if you want that, I would highly suggest subscribing on YouTube, watching the vids on Spotify, or the vids will also be available on the Andy Ruther Substack. So wanted to announce that episode 1 dropped this week, and looking forward to doing more of those weekly. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning.
Morning. I thought for sure at under Andy Ruther instead of at Andy Ruther today, you might have host of the Andy Ruther podcast.
It's the Andy Ruther Show, Joe.
Sorry, the Andy Ruther Show. Damn it.
All good. I appreciate the plug.
I watched most of the first episode. This is perfect timing for them to start drilling and doing sawing work outside. I watched most of the first episode the other day prior to doing the Game 5 live watch. I'm going to shut this door, Andy.
Yeah, you do that. Well, I appreciate that. As I said in the pre-roll for this show, I do have a new podcast, The Andy Ruther Show. It was a long time in the making, and it's finally up. Episode 1 is in the books, and I'm working on episode 2. Thinking that I'll probably drop episodes on either Tuesday or Fridays, just so everybody knows.
Tuesdays or Fridays.
Yeah. But once a week, we're going to do it. And I look forward to having fun with that. Got lots of this is from my brothers in the brother group chat. So that's always great and supportive.
From their viewing of the first podcast, and they started roasting you?
Oh, no, they just roast me nonstop.
Oh, okay.
Like I get roasted so hard.
A segment from the group chat.
Joe, you and I think alike. It's already in my quote unquote drive of segment ideas.
Live from the group chat.
It's just like you and I talked about this recently.
And you know what could be a fun game, Andy? I don't know if you've considered this since we're on the same page. But I think a fun game was you read a message from the group chat and then give everybody a chance to guess which brother it is.
Yes. And they would all lose their jobs. You know what I am going to do, though? I'm going to have a segment. You'd love this called I live in Anderson, or I technically live in Mount Washington, which is the city, but it's right next to Anderson Township. I'm going to do one called Karens of Anderson.
Okay. Are there a lot of Karens in Anderson?
Oh, dude. I joined some group just for the content because I knew about it.
Just for the content.
It's moms and friends.
Can you guys keep Karening? I need some content.
Well, it's moms and friends of Anderson Township. And you have to, submit to join. It's like got 10,000 Facebook followers, whatever it's called, members in it. And the reason is because some Karen was going off about my daycare, the daycare that Isla goes to last year. And I've only had positive experiences. So I want to start looking at these Karens and put them on blast.
Love it.
There's nothing worse than Karens in the suburbs.
There really isn't.
Right?
No. Because the thing is, in the city, like if you're like in the thick of it, having like a snap moment and like going off on people, it's like it's kind of understandable. It's like stressed, you're busy, I got to get this coffee and get to work and blah blah blah. But like when you're just like a suburban mom and it's like all I have to do today is go to Target and return this thing, and you're snapping on some poor teenager, yeah, it's the worst.
I mean, it's the worst. The go-to Karen phrase, right? Can I speak with the manager? Is so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like, what have you done? Like, what? I don't know, but we could almost say I'm to this point to kind of pivot back to dirty sports. I feel like these sports fans are kind of Karens in their own right, but a different version of Karens.
1000%. Yes, the like male equivalent of a suburban Karen is like the internet guy whose picture is his favorite player photoshopped into something like he thinks is hilarious. It's like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes playing cornhole. Or like Colin Cowherd. I don't know if you saw the Colin Cowherd the yesterday's Colin Cowherd Knicks rant.
What'd he say?
Oh, basically, yeah, I mean, nice. This really cool what Jalen Brunson is doing, but try doing it against good teams. Try doing it against the West. It was literally like, what are we talking about here? He's not doing it against the West. Like the Knicks didn't literally sign him off of him doing it in the Western Conference playoffs. They're like, oh, remember that guy who's like pretty good in college, but really didn't get a whole lot of run in the Mavericks? He just scored 30 plus. He just Luka was out and he carried the Mavericks through a whole round of the playoffs. We should sign him. Like it's literally how he made his name.
Yeah, that's a bad take.
And the thing about Karen Cowherd is that I don't even know if Karen Cowherd knows that. That's I don't know if Karen Cowherd knows that Jalen Brunson was a Maverick before.
You know what I can tell you right off the bat? He doesn't know, and you actually reminded me of that right now, of the run he did when Luka was out in the playoffs. Yeah. He doesn't know that. Dude, these guys, look, and I think it's coming to light more. These guys don't watch as much as they act like they do.
And I understand it a little bit. Because, listen, he gets up, he preps for his show, he does his show, he has post-show prep. He has really how much time before he maybe tunes into a game. But, like, he also has a wife. He also has a thought daughter that he's trying not to get trying to keep her from getting run through at college. Like, he's a busy man.
Yeah.
And people always say about Bill Simmons, and I have my ups and downs with Bill Simmons takes, but generally, especially when it comes to NBA stuff, I think he does a pretty good job. But you'll hear, no, fucking nerd. And it's like, and when you say nerd, you mean he actually watches the games?
Well, I think he is kind of a nerd, but that's fine. I would call myself a nerd too. So
yeah, but it's hard not to be a nerd.
I agree.
If all you do is watch the NBA.
So Charles Barkley said something which I totally disagree with, and I don't think is the truth. Speaking of all this, and I know you've mentioned this, he said on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, no one watches more basketball than me. And I'm just thinking, I don't think you're telling the truth here, Chuck.
No,
sorry.
No. You can tell from the vibe on Inside the NBA that they're in a room watching the games. They do their pregame show, and then those guys are all sitting together watching the game until they come in at halftime. And you can tell just from the vibe that them watching that show is them just like roasting each other and fucking having fun. Like they're not taking fucking notes during that time. They always come back with some inside joke or some shit that happened. It should be, instead of Inside the NBA, it should be called Inside Jokes on the NBA. But
which I have no problem with. It's a great show.
Of course. That was what I was about to say, is like, I don't care that Stephen A. Smith thinks Hunter Henry is the Knicks starting shooting guard. Like, I don't care that the dude doesn't watch sports. Just own it. Like, we have Ryan Clack come on to talk hockey. We don't watch hockey. We don't watch college basketball. We don't barely watch college football anymore. We don't watch UFC. We don't watch, like, own it. There's a million times, like, Andy Laz and I do slides. We're both, I mean, I would say we're both big baseball fans, but we're not baseball stat nerds. Like, neither of us do fantasy baseball. Neither of us are in on the fucking WRC plus OP. Like, that's just not our thing. So it's like, if you listen to our show, you're a baseball psycho. You're going to be like, these guys even fucking, and it's like, no, not really. We're just like, we watch our teams. The baseball teams I watch are the teams that are coming through the Mets. Like, I'm watching every team in the league. I'm watching them as they play the Mets. Like, right now, I'm not watching any baseball that's not Mets baseball because I have NBA playoffs.
And that's totally fine. The same way last night.
Just don't pretend. That's the problem.
Well, that is the problem. I mean, we joked. How much did we joke about it? Especially you were busting my balls during the game 5, Knicks Pacers, about me and the NBA. But I've been honest. Like, I haven't watched that much NBA.
Yeah.
That's the truth until the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I haven't. And I'm not hiding from that. Obviously, we do a sports show. But that's the truth. I'm not acting like I'm an expert. Now, once I start getting into it, I start watching it. I start paying attention. I start forming opinions. But it is true. When those guys are away from the studio, so Charles Barkley can say he watches more basketball than anybody. Dude, you also golf all the time. You also like to gamble. You're also a very social guy, Chuck.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're
Bill
at home.
Simmons lives in Southern California and is pale as the fucking day is long because he lives inside of his fucking pool house watching the NBA like he's fucking Morgan Freeman in The Dark Knight. And yeah, he's a fucking nerd. But like, he's a nerd him and Ryan Russillo do a fucking podcast after every goddamn game now. And they just recap what they just went. Like, they watch ball.
Sure.
And so for Colin Cowherd to all of a sudden come in, he's like, oh, got to do content. They're like, what should, and that's I think one of the big things that's wrong with sports media today is like, they go in the morning and they're like, all right, Colin, what are we saying about this Knicks game? He's like, I don't think you could do it against the West. I'm like, okay, I guess that's a take.
And those guys.
And how about LeBron? Oh, I think he could never do this against the East. He made 8 straight finals in the East, right? He's like, that didn't. When would that happen? Can't remember 2 years ago.
And they are real, especially if they're on TV. They're getting in at 5 a.m. for hair and makeup.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing with the NFL that I always laugh about, would be the guys who have a show in the morning, radio or TV, and those, where they're going live at like 7 a.m. So they're getting there probably 4:35 a.m.
Yeah.
And I always say, okay, that Sunday or Monday night football game ended and you're in New York.
Yeah.
You got 4 hours of sleep? You watched the whole Cowboys-Eagles game?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Totally. 100%.
You got producers feeding stuff in your ear, which again is fine, but don't act like an expert. Now, I've been missing every NBA call. That's because I've been basically casual this season, just going with the team who won the last game.
I mean, you're literally just like, they're calling you Andy Momentum Ruther. Just like you have the hottest take based on who won the last game.
So I predicted a Pacers win game 5. Ruther Curse comes in. Pacers lose. I said Pacers are going to win that series.
Which we're hoping you stick. We're hoping that the curse lasts through game 6.
I believe I predicted OKC during our game 5 broadcast, OKC to win that series.
You also predicted OKC to win that series, like basically before it started. You're like, OKC's got this, right?
Because they're up 1-0.
They're up 1-0. You're like, we're just penciling them into the next round. I was like, I don't know. I think that series goes 7.
I don't know anymore. A big win last night for the Mavs.
Yeah. I still think that series goes 7. I think that's just.
I think they're stealing away games.
I think those teams are just so well matched, and the styles are different. Really good, like actual matchups on the floor. And I think that it's one of those like the Mavericks OKC series is like the perfect NBA zigzag, because it's like the team you don't think is going to show, then they show, and then this guy, and it's just like goes back and forth. Like I think it with young teams, like especially like OKC, it's like, ooh, we're up, and just like a little like you shouldn't be that way, but it's like a little bit of cruise control, a little bit of breathing room. Now all of a sudden they're down again. I think that's a 7-game series. I've said that from the beginning, because everybody was penciling in the Mavs, like, oh, this Mavs team and their experience and whatever. And it's like Kyrie Irving. Oh, and I got a hot take for you that I brought up last night that we'll get to in a minute here. But like, Kyrie hasn't been like outstanding. It's really kind of like obviously like Luka ball. Shea is just so good. He's so good at getting a bucket, so skinny, and you're like, how? Obviously, Holmgren, Chet, like this is his rookie year. Has looked. There's just so many little, like even all the role players on this team, on both of these teams. They're both like pretty young. Obviously, OKC is super young. I just see this going back and forth. I see it being a series where, we get a little standout performance here and there by a role guy, and this goes all the way to the end.
And I assume we're probably agreeing that'll be Denver next series that they play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not ruling out the possibility of Minnesota getting a win, but I am ruling out the possibility of Minnesota winning 2 to take it. And my 15-1 bet is just so glorious right now. I'm just so happy.
That was a good bet.
It's a good bet.
I should have put money down when you talked about it. I should have right when the show ended.
I texted our boy Andrew, and I was like, I think he was like still asleep because he's in like Berlin.
I mean, what is that? That's $1,500 at $100 bet.
Yeah, or $3,000 at a $200 bet.
I like how you're winking. If you know what I mean. That's a great bet, actually. In fact, that's probably one of the better bets. Because I was one of those people, when they were down 2-0, I just didn't think they'd win both in Minnesota. I thought for sure that was going to split.
Yeah. I said on the show, and I said in my text to Andrew, I was like, I think that Minnesota probably still wins this series, but just the idea, just to, imagine any moment in time, just not giving anybody any context, just without context. The defending champion Denver Nuggets are 15-1 to win the title. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? And
yeah.
I was just like, and I said to Andrew, I go, you play this series 15 times. It's far more than one out of the next 15 that they would come back and win the series. And the idea is, if they get through that series, halfway decent chance that they win it all. I mean, it dropped. I think you told me it dropped to like 3.5 to 1 again after they evened the series up.
They became the second biggest favorites to win it all behind Boston after they tied it up. It was a profound drop right there.
Yeah. It really should have never skyrocketed to 15-1, which is, I think they're going to get killed on that one.
That could be an L. I do, like, I was chuckling last night as I was watching the games, thinking, because we haven't really talked about it. We lightly talked about it during the Game 5 broadcast. The NBA having the FanDuel graphic while they have all these gambling scandals, and it's just, we talk about the beginning of the show, just being honest about it. Dude, you guys got to be honest. Again, I don't care, but you just got to say it's a money grab. Just fucking say it, Adam Silver. Just say it's a money grab, whether it's them or the NFL or Major League Baseball.
I think everything, all of that shit is a money, like, is it any more of a money grab than any of the other things?
No.
Right.
It's not, but don't talk to me about integrity because you're basically, you're risking things when you're getting in bed with gambling. You are.
Yeah.
You're risking things. And that might be solved when I was listening to the Bill Simmons with why am I struggling here?
Ethan.
With
Ethan
Ethan
Strauss.
Strauss.
Yeah.
And they were making some points how after this next collective bargaining agreement and the next money TV deals for the NBA, just how much people are going to be making in the NBA. Like even the lowest tier player,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to sway them to gamble or do those things like Porter did
Right.
when they're making millions of dollars a year.
Right.
And
It'll definitely be tough to sway them to go be a cornerback on an unguaranteed contract in the NFL. Like you want brain damage and your contract not to be guaranteed?
yeah.
For the idea that there are people out there who are choosing to go. By the way, did you see I had an exchange with Sean Merriman the other day?
No, I didn't.
I had a Twitter exchange with our boy Sean Merriman because he put up like, I mean, I think it was either like a JV or a high school, maybe even a Pop Warner clip showing like a tackling drill. And he's like, tell me who in the NBA is doing this drill. And I was just like, and I think I said, how many times do you think DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., and whatever combined have done this drill in their NFL careers? And he was like 50 times each. And I was like, what? And then he was just like, you have to play football. You have to do this if you play football. I was like, yeah, no. I know that they did this in high school and shit. But I go, how many times do you think any of these guys are doing it in the NFL? And the answer is none.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think just NFL fans in general might be the most sensitive.
It's a very weird thing. I mean, obviously you have that like weird hatred of the NBA by a certain group of people. We've talked about that at length, but like this idea, and this really is my issue. I have no problem with NFL players saying like, yo, like it's not as easy as y'all think. Like, you know, the NFL's hard, like training camp's hard and whatever. But this weird defense that they've all gone into where we're acting as if every player in the NFL is participating in Oklahoma drills 24/7 in training camp when it's really like 3 position groups. It's like offensive linemen, defensive linemen, fullbacks, and linebackers. Like kickers, DBs, receivers, like quarterbacks. Like nobody's hitting each other.
Yeah, and my thing to NFL fans, you can like your sport. Why I don't know why you take it personally when anything's said about your sport.
Yeah. It would be the equivalent of saying like the reverse would be the equivalent like of showing a guy who can't jump and being like, this guy's going to be in the NBA. And it's like, yeah, dude, you can be in the NBA and not jump. Like I was talking to Pete Sestaro about this last night. At each level of the NBA right now, if you take Jalen Brunson, the point guard, Luka Doncic, who's, essentially a point guard too, but like, let's call him for this sake, a small forward, a wing, right? And then you take Jokic. None of these guys are doing anything of hyper athletic. It's all craftiness. They're all playing pretty close to the floor. It all looks like it's in slow motion. It's all footwork. And if you gave me those 3 guys, you and I could be the other 2 guys on the team. That's winning the NBA championship. If your top 3 players are Doncic, Brunson, and Jokic, you're winning the championship. None of them are hyper athletic.
But Doncic and Brunson, they're going to both need the ball. How's that going to play out?
No, yeah, but I'm saying, first of all, they did play together, obviously, which is why,
True.
But if
Yeah.
those are your guys, I mean, if Jokic in a sense kind of a little bit needs the ball too, because it kind of runs through him, but like super crafty guys, it's like the idea that you have to be some hyper athlete in the NBA is not true either. You know what I mean? It's just this idea that you have to be this like crazed animal who's foaming at the mouth and ready to kill.
When are every time you say crafty, and especially with you talk about Brunson, and then I think of the Beastie Boys and she's crafty. When are they going to make a remix since they're from Brooklyn? He's crafty, and it's highlights of Jalen Brunson being crafty.
That'd be great. We're down a Beastie Boy at this point, so
we are.
Yeah.
Do they perform at all?
I don't think so. Did you ever watch the Beastie Boy documentary, by the way?
Thanks for reminding me. I still haven't. That's on Apple.
It is, and it's really good. You'd really like it because it's a different thing. They did it as like a live show, and then the clips that you watch is like when they go to the fucking video board behind them. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll need to watch that. They were one of my faves growing up.
Yeah. I mean, we were white kids in the 80s.
Oh yeah, 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
If you didn't love the Beastie Boys.
And what's so funny is like when you're a kid and like I'm sure you remember, but like you hear like Girls by the Beastie Boys and then you think it's like the funniest thing ever, and then it's like, oh, it's them doing like a tongue-in-cheek mocking thing, but you don't know. You're actually like fucking you like love it, and it's like you love it without the irony.
They used to play that song.
Harrison Butker also likes that song without the irony. He's like, no, to clean the bathroom.
They used to play that song in my high school dances every year or every dance. And I used to be like, oh my God, they're playing this? Oh my God, this is great. No, Harrison Butker, he likes the It's Raining Men. If you had to put betting odds on Harrison Butker being gay, 100%?
I mean, yeah. And I tweeted it, and I feel so bad that I tweeted it and I attributed it to the wrong person. I wish I'd given my sister the proper love, but when I hadn't even seen the Harrison Butker thing, and my sister sent it to me on TikTok, and she sent it to me. She's like, I know jack shit about sports, but I know this guy's 100% gay. And then before I could even reply, she followed up with, she's like, cut to 5 minutes from now when his like lover comes out and like, you know, outs him. And I woke up and I saw it. I watched the clip and I was like, oh yeah, 1,000%. And then of course some chick was like, he was banging a male cheerleader at Georgia Tech. So I put that tweet up about it, and I attributed it. I was so tired. I attributed it to my girlfriend instead of my sister. And obviously it's gone mega viral, but yeah, I mean, he's wearing a leopard tie, dude.
I just put, is Harrison Butker gay, to see what will come up in Google, which it seems like there's not much there besides the Instagram, or I'm sorry, the TikTok video of the girl claiming he used to hook up with a Georgia Tech male cheerleader.
Yeah. There's another claim from Instagram that he was like with one of their defensive tackles, that him and one of the defensive tackles also got it on.
With a Georgia Tech defensive tackle? Ooh, got a little top-bottom situation going there.
Yeah.
He's definitely, I mean, he's got to be the bottom in that situation.
Who knows?
So did he go to Georgia Tech?
I guess so, yeah.
Well,
or imagine he didn't go to Georgia Tech and he was just like, I'll just go to the campus down the street.
I don't know how much time you spend in Atlanta, but Atlanta's a
DL city.
It's a very large gay population.
Yeah.
Butker, he's a great kicker, by the way. He's a phenomenal kicker.
Yeah.
He's been an amazing kicker, but he's really putting himself out there. And it's like, you're the kicker. That's the last position I'd want to put myself out there going into training camp with the Chiefs. Because now here's the thing. Now those guys got to deal with it, and they're just like, man.
I mean, there's a great clip that's going around of Patrick Mahomes saying, "I don't even talk to the guy."
I saw that.
It's so funny. I just don't talk to him.
Like, we just get the ball to the 40-yard line. We know he can crush it. I wonder if you could put bets on his season.
Oh, it'd be great if you could put bets on him like missing more kicks this
Because
season.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Again, he's been a phenomenal kicker.
Yeah.
I would actually argue.
And by the way, let me just add one thing. Like the whole I think there's a petition that like I don't give a fuck. Like obviously that's stupid.
Yeah, let the
Like
guy
obviously
play.
I don't believe in canceling the guy for
An opinion.
having shitty opinions.
Yeah.
I do believe in outing him. That's fine. I'm super in favor of that.
Well, he definitely should keep playing. Exactly. I don't care what your opinion is. You should continue to play. But if you could put a prop bet on his misses or percentage field goal percentage this year, because the truth is, he's been one of those guys through this dynasty that you'd say is underrated and not appreciated enough because he's been pretty close. They've been in a lot of close games.
Yeah.
So good luck, dude, because you're putting a lot on yourself now.
Big spotlight on you every time you walk on the field now.
Which is crazy. Think about it. They have a guy dating Taylor Swift. They have the best quarterback in the world. Now you're getting a spotlight in that as the kicker, where you could just fly under the radar.
Meanwhile, he's like, I love a spotlight.
Especially if it's a show tune.
Yeah. Put a spotlight on me. You ever seen a grown man tap dance?
He's like the kid in that episode of The Curb where
Yeah, exactly.
she's like, he's not gay, and he's like,
Yeah.
super.
Yeah. That's
Fashion, I love-
I talk about it all the time. I'm not the biggest Curb fan. I haven't seen all the Curbs. I've seen a very small percentage of the Curbs. I was watching that episode. I was dying watching that episode.
It's so
He's got a
funny.
sewing machine. He's on a sewing machine.
A sewing machine. Like it, I love it. He goes, like it, I love it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. By the way, speaking of gay dudes, I had a gay dude from Dirty Pop, an old Dirty Pop with Lance Bass listener, slid into my DMs last night.
Wow.
And said, will you be shirtless on your new podcast?
Yes.
And I just wrote back.
You were like, hey, go to training camp, Harrison. Leave me alone.
I said, I have the biggest dad bod ever. Nobody wants to see me shirtless.
Yeah.
And I don't think he knew what to say. Like, I think he was shocked I would respond.
Yeah.
I was like, I got a dad bod. You like don't want to see me shirtless.
Immediately
also,
jacked off to
dude,
the thought of your dad bod.
What's up?
Immediately jacked off to the thought of your dad bod.
Also, dude, look at the logo for the Andy Ruther show. I'm holding a kid.
Yeah.
like doesn't mean I couldn't be gay, but
No, I don't think he cares whether or not you're gay.
Is are there rumors that Clark Hunt is gay too, or is this just Dirtball just tossing some stuff out there?
Wow, there we go.
I could see Clark Hunt being gay.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't you?
Yeah. I wonder if that's a rumor in and around Kansas City.
I like these. I like when we're. I
Yeah.
was just tossing it out there.
Okay.
But he's got like the trophy wife, Clark Hunt.
Yeah.
Like the
And
former.
it looks like he's had plastic surgery done to his face.
That's what I'm saying. He's got the Ken doll face going.
Yeah.
He's got the trophy wife, and then they have a mansion in the state.
He has a dildo room in the suite that he built.
He's got a glory hole room.
Is it a dildo room? It's like, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I have a dildo room? It's really weird that it's weird that you think it's weird. He has a dildo in there that looks exactly like Rick Carlisle.
That'd be good branding. He should do a dildo, like a Rick Carlisle branded dildo.
Fire Marshal Dill.
Man, I like this. So, do we want to talk a little more NBA? Are we going to leap into some NFL? What do
Well,
you want
I
to
mean,
talk?
I feel like I want the end. Do you think the Pacers win game 6? I'm going to say this, Andy. This is finally the first game of this series where we get a multi-day break. So game not till tomorrow. Obviously, that helps the Knicks. They're extremely shorthanded. But I want to know, or was that just did we just steal their will to live?
I'm 50-50. Maybe I'd like to see a game 7.
I would not. Although game 7 in Madison Square Garden would be glorious.
When's the last time they had a game 7 playoff in Madison Square Garden?
I don't even know.
Probably been a while.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Did that? I don't think that Hawks series didn't go 7. No. I have no idea.
I think now a lot of these games they ebb and flow with runs. So you can't put too much into the early game, but I think this one you do. I think if the Pacers start strong, they win. If they fall behind, they lose. But like my point is, I don't think there'll be many comebacks.
I was worried about that in the last game because I said before you hopped on the live, I said it would be nice for the Knicks to start strong ones. It would be nice if just one time at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter we had a lead. We did not have a lead at 8 minutes in the first quarter, but I think by 6 minutes in the first quarter it was getting away from them, and then they never looked back.
Well, they made a run. Remember, I hopped on the podcast and you said
they made a run to start the second half with I think it was 3 in a row Miles Turner threes.
It got the game down to 7.
Yeah.
And then they just ran away with it.
And we talked about the FanDuel prediction for anybody that wasn't in the live.
But by the way, let me hop in here real quick to cut you off. Sorry. That's one of the reasons you subscribe to Substack.
Yeah.
Again, free or paid.
Yeah.
You're going to get access.
The lives have pretty much have pretty exclusively free so far. Also, like if you're a listener of the show, like Andy puts just about every podcast live on YouTube.
I do.
If you're in the chat.
I do.
So it's like a workaround to being a free listener of the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Yeah. So I mean, we're putting a lot of different stuff out there. Now, certain things, obviously, like the episode I'm working on now that will be dropped this week.
Ooh, dangling a throwback episode.
There will be a throwback drop this week.
Nice.
And that will be behind a paywall. And it's a doozy. It's tough for me. It's tough for me to get through.
Is this a He Who Shall Not Be Named episode?
It is. It's tough for me to listen to because it's like,
wow.
It's like
it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be tough for me to listen to because I think at the time I'm still kind of pseudo defending him.
But I'm also a psycho.
Yeah.
So it's tough for me to listen to myself wanting to fight him.
Yeah.
Because that's just not me. But like, man.
But he's a piece of shit, so I get it.
And he's such a piece of shit to Goldberg too in the episode. He's such a piece of shit. Although, again, not to tease it up too much, you do straight up say to him during the episode, like, you're not like, good luck finding a place, dude. You're not sleeping in my place. And he's talking so much shit about everything. Biggest shit talker ever. Anyway, that'll be up behind a paywall before the weekend's over.
I was saying in the live, though, we were talking right before you joined, I think, or which was prior to the game. And this has become a trend. This is now a trend. It's Shaq, it's Chuck, it's Draymond, it's Colin Cowherd, like the disrespecting of this team. And I don't understand it. I really don't. I'll say I've said it all throughout the playoffs. I'll say it again. Like, I see other teams do this. Like you see these great performances. I don't have, dude, I actually kind of famously fucking have had issue with the people of Minnesota. You know, obviously there's their love of Kirk Cousins, but like you watch what Anthony Edwards does in the first game of the series, you're like, wow, as an NBA fan, I enjoy this. Nobody is like, I don't know what it is about Jalen Brunson.
I do. I can tell you.
What is it?
It's because it's not flashy. It's crafty. It's not the big slam dunk. It's not.
It's the same reason why people say like, oh, Jokic is the worst MVP.
Same exact thing. It's because if you look at a highlight reel of Jalen Brunson, it's like you say, it's the footwork, it's the spacing, it's the on-court intelligence. Again, all Jokic trademarks. It's not the Anthony Edwards. Holy shit, did you see that block?
Yeah.
Did you see that the way he leaped, the way that he dunked? I mean, it's not that.
And what's funny is like this, you know, he's so crafty and he's so crafty at like, dude, you can let him go. If he gets by you, and it felt like the Pacers started doing that down the stretch. If he gets by you, let him go because he is so good at then stopping on a dime and hitting you. But like, there's this, in my opinion, blatantly wrong and blatantly sour grapes thing that he's like initiating contact, which he's not. He's not diving backwards. He's not diving sideways. He's just taking a shot. You're running into the back of him. That's a foul. By definition, it's a foul. I don't know what the fuck you guys want to do. Of course he's doing it on purpose. Of course he's doing it because he's like, if I'm by you, you let me shoot or you give me free throws. And it's just so great. But like the hate. And we said it in the live. Draymond Green predicted he wouldn't have 30 in the FanDuel over-unders pick of the game. And he had 28 at half. And I just love it. And I was talking, I want to bring up two quick things that I talked about with Pizza Starlo last night in a podcast that he's about to drop on Substack. It's nice that we're early in the Substack game. Two quick things. One, why don't more teams do this? Why don't more teams get a bunch of teammates that played together since fucking college and put them on the same team? Do you think that's a viable strategy, or is it only a viable strategy because they're obviously like a championship team at Villanova? They're like, it almost feels like if you were a team, like, why wouldn't you throw? I mean, I know like the Kentuckys and the Dukes, and they didn't even really play together for very long there, but it's like, why isn't this a strategy? I mean, even in the NFL, you look at it, the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection, like, feels like not enough teams do this. Like, dude, chemistry is important in basketball for sure.
It's probably hard. That's why logistically to set that up, right? Like that's got to be the reason.
But like you go back to like, and this is the example I use, like those Florida teams, like only a couple of those guys were like super high draft picks. Like you probably could have put like Corey Brewer and David Lee and fucking Al Horford or whatever on a fucking team together.
Well, let's look at the Knicks roster.
Or Joakim Noah, or
they didn't draft any of the Nova guys.
None of them.
So this was all through trades or free agent signings.
Yeah.
Which kind of proves the point. It's hard to put these guys together.
Well, but I'm saying it wouldn't have been hard because you could have drafted all these guys in the fucking. Only Dante DiVincenzo was like a super high draft pick.
Was Hart a second rounder?
I think Hart was a late first rounder, and so was DiVincenzo. But like, I think DiVincenzo went the highest of the three of them. I think.
I'm gonna guess that he was.
Brunson was a second rounder, I believe.
Brunson was for sure. I bet DiVincenzo was like 15th or 16th. I'm gonna look it up. So he was drafted. All right, Dante DiVincenzo was taken 17th. I was close. Josh Hart.
Maybe Hart did go higher. Slightly higher.
He was 30th.
Wow.
And very last first round pick. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's tough. I think that's the answer. It's tough to put all these guys together. But also, I also could not think of another like three.
Yeah.
That not only had championships, but also longevity of playing at least
a couple years
a
together.
couple years in college too. It's just not a thing anymore.
I have one more hot take for you. This is a spicy hot take. Obviously, neither of us have been big Kyrie Irving fans in terms of sort of the mental game that he brings. No, I think there's no doubt about it. He's an incredibly talented basketball player, right? Like no one doubts that. But this is a phrase that I hear all the time about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is the most skilled player in the NBA. And I think what that is essentially saying is he's not LeBron James. He's not 6'9". He's somewhat undersized. He's obviously still a freak athlete, right? Like we can all agree on that. He's a freak athlete, but the skill thing is like he can shoot the three. He can finish despite his size. Right hand, left hand, footwork, dribble, all the things that make him the most skilled player in the NBA. This is something you hear all the time. The most skilled, the most skilled, the most skilled. At this point, Jalen Brunson is a better player than Kyrie Irving and less athletic. So is Jalen Brunson the most skilled player in the NBA? I mean, he's clearly a better player. And he's clearly less athletic. So where is he making up? How is he better if he's less athletic unless he is therefore more skilled? Or is the only thing that Jalen Brunson's actually still less skilled, but he actually has a head on his shoulders? And if you just transplanted their brain, Kyrie would be like the best player in the NBA.
Well, the comparison is interesting simply because Kyrie has never been able to be the top dog. He's always been the sidekick. He's been the Robin to the Batman, on which he's been able to succeed. Obviously, won a title in Cleveland with that. But when he's the top dog, we all saw how it's interesting. It's an interesting discussion, that's for sure.
Like there's some part of me that's like, I mean, the way he gets to the line, the way he's finishing, even without the crazy footwork and the crazy hand,
Here's the thing about Brunson, though. Brunson's a basketball player, man. And by
dog,
that I mean,
dude,
what?
He's a dog.
That's what I'm saying. And obviously Kyrie, I would call Brunson more of a basketball player in your traditional sense. Does that ring a bell? Like, does that make any sense? I'm saying when I say traditional sense, like he knows the game.
There's a thing about Jalen Brunson. He has an essence about him where you're like, there's a little bit of Jalen Brunson in every undersized guy that fucking ruins your high school basketball team's like state championship run.
Yeah.
You're like, that little motherfucker on blah blah blah. He's just so fucking annoying, and he carves us up.
100%.
Whereas Kyrie is obviously extremely skilled and extremely talented and extremely flashy in his style of play, but it doesn't always deliver. But that, I guess, is my question. That's where it comes down to. Is it just is the difference between Jalen Brunson and Kyrie Irving that Kyrie actually is far more skilled still, and it's literally just like all about the brains, all about the mental aspect of the game? Or could you argue, I mean, you look at the way Jalen Brunson gets it done, undersized, less, but is he actually more skilled at getting into the paint? I think he was second in the NBA and led for a while in points in the paint. He's 6'1", dude.
Well, that's, again, like I said, basketball intellect, basketball smarts. Look, it's no different than any job. That you have people who just have the innate ability. In this case, it's athletic ability, a la Kyrie Irving, or you have a guy who's in the second round, drafted in the second round, won a title, was always a great collegiate player who nobody thought, including myself, could translate in the NBA. But he's translated into not just a nice and like a next level, like you're saying. The stats back it up with all the points in the paint. But you know, when we watch his games and we're calling them like that footwork and on the fadeaway and how he positions his body, you know what it reminds me of?
Like he might be the only guy I've ever seen cross somebody over to the point where they fell down, but it felt like it happened in slow motion.
I think about the Dennis Rodman. Was this on the Last Dance or no? Probably not. This might have been the Dennis Rodman 30 for 30. How they said he would just practice the different angles on how to rebound.
Yeah.
And just for hours, the positioning of his body and the footwork. And that's how he turned into just a dominant rebounder. And Brunson's like that, but from the offensive end with his footwork. You don't hear much about the time he puts in because he's a pretty quiet, go about your business. I'm going to bring my pail to work and I'm just going to crush it. I bet that dude puts in some serious time.
I mean, his dad was an NBA player. His dad's a coach.
Also watching film.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Whereas a Kyrie Irving, he's never watched game film in his life. He's too busy watching like conspiracy documentaries.
Yeah. Coach, I'd love to. I'm reading Mein Kampf for the 4th time. Like, what? Just don't. Just don't.
You know, I just thought of last night, and I don't know. I'm sure a comedian's done a bit on this, as you say, Mein Kampf. Somebody had to have done a bit on this, right? I think this would be, if not, this is definitely a funny stand-up bit. I'll just reveal it, or it's a funny sketch. How come Hitler, when someone's acting like a dick or being like an authoritarian, this had to have been done before, right? Like last night, I don't know what we were doing, and Brittany's like, okay, Hitler. How come he got it? Nobody's ever like, okay, Joseph Stalin. Like Stalin technically, I think, killed more people. Okay, Pol Pot.
Just doesn't have the same ring to it, Andy.
Okay, Mao Zedong.
Hitler's funnier. It's just funnier. It's just funnier.
But like those dudes killed more people.
Yeah.
Mao Zedong killed way more people. It doesn't even compare in China and starved his own. Like, I'm just saying, if you look historically, that's all it is. It's the ring. Okay, Hitler.
Yeah, and that's also, it's just like
because he's the most famous.
Exactly.
Is it just the ignorance that we don't realize how evil some of these other people were?
Yeah. It's like, okay, Kissinger. Wait, what? Yeah, read a fucking book sometime. Guy's a monster.
I'm gonna start calling people these names when I'm like, okay, Mao Zedong. They'll be like, what?
I'm gonna be like, okay, Obama. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, drone striking fucking weddings and shit.
Yeah, but see, the Obama, depending on who you say it to, they're gonna be like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Then you call somebody Pol Pot, they're gonna go, what? Is that a dish I can go eat at a Vietnamese restaurant? Pol Pot. Yeah, you just toss out. Okay, Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this really isn't a bit because Prano's like, well, here's the reason why. Speaking of that, you know who's in town this week?
Eddie Ift.
He DM'd me last night.
He's I just saw he's supposed to be coming tonight, but his plane got canceled, so he's not arriving till tomorrow now.
So who's headlining Go Bananas tonight?
I was gonna text you, so slide in there. Be a great time to break out a headlining set, to debut the new Andy Ruther show.
Well, I'm sure as hell not doing the new bit about Hitler. You just struck that thing down quickly.
No, I mean, there's something there. You got to work on it. Take that to Pizza Staro's new podcast, New Bits.
Is that his new podcast?
Yeah, we run through some new bits.
Now is he gonna have guests?
Yeah, I think he is. I've done the first two. I think he's just trying to get a couple under his belt, and then he's gonna bring in some other people, run some bits.
And you guys just break it down and discuss if this has any
Yeah, and I'm
legs.
terrible. I was like, I don't even really write down fucking new bits anymore. But you know, it's good. It's good to talk it out. It's funny because, you know, obviously, and it all goes back to this show. Even, I mean, we used to do it on Kooks. We would do the same thing. We would break down new bits, but very famously, I mean, maybe the most famous working out of a podcast bit or a bit on a podcast is my shark joke. I tried it for fucking 5 years and could never get it to work. And then only when you revealed that your mom doesn't go in the ocean did it become a shark priest's joke. And that's how the joke became literally my closer. Because I was like, isn't your mom like super religious, super Catholic? She's afraid of sharks. She's not afraid of priests.
I didn't realize that.
And then it became a joke about fucking sharks and priests.
Joanne Ruther was the inspo.
Well, partially.
Part of it. Part of it.
You're like, yeah, she doesn't step in the ocean. I'm like, what?
There's a lot of people like that, by the way.
Yeah. My mom's actually like that too, where there's this whole mythical tale about like my mom's brother pushing her off like a pier when she was a kid, and now she doesn't go in the water anymore. It's like, okay. I was like, imagine if I didn't do things because John put me in a dangerous situation around it. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
That's
like, I don't eat Chinese food anymore because of the time my brother hit me with a chair while we were at a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy where you get that initial idea from. This could maybe be a little segue to discussing. We briefly discussed this during the live game. Tom Brady's regretting doing the roast.
I saw that. Yeah, we talked about the roast. Yeah, Tom Brady regretting doing it because, like, what? His kids and his family. Like, did you know what a roast is, dude?
He said he went on this is what he said on a podcast this week. I guess there's a podcast. Every athlete has a podcast with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder called The Pivot. He said, I loved when the jokes were about me. They were fun. I didn't like the way it affected my kids.
So meanwhile, I read that there was like we're not going to make fun of his kids like thing. And I was like, oh God, you wouldn't, there's no way you were going to stop me from talking about him mouth kissing his son. Just like you would have had to drag me off stage. That shit was live. I was doing a joke about him fucking kissing his son.
I was shocked. I was waiting for the jokes about him kissing his son. And by kiss, I mean make out.
Yeah. Full on open mouth tongue kissing.
But my thing,
while he was lying on a massage table, remember, that was a whole other thing.
Yeah, it was weird.
There's a Robert Kraft joke in there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was shocked nobody went there. Didn't you said the other night he got paid $25 million? Is that true?
That's what I heard. Yeah, $25 million.
Which makes sense. Drunk and get roasted.
Which makes sense because you think about it, and obviously this will be a nice transition into the NFL thing, but like and Netflix is really trying to do live events. We've talked about this too, is like there was when Chris Rock did his Netflix deal and when Chappelle did his Netflix deal, all of a sudden you're like, the numbers were like 25 million for a special, or like 25 million for 3 specials, which is like those NBA salary numbers. Like you would have never heard, like, dude, back in the day, like Louis CK doing some shit on HBO or whatever, he's probably getting $1 million or $2 million. He's not getting 25 million. So then the numbers come out, and then I said it to you the other night. It's like, dude, way more people tuned in to that Tom Brady roast than tune into your typical Chris Rock special on Netflix.
That's not even close.
Yeah. So the
money, I bet you those numbers from the Brady special, I want to know how many millions have watched it in the last week. I bet it's comparable to an NFL game.
Have you watched Baby Reindeer, by the way?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it. my girlfriend was watching it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I literally ran through 7 episodes.
Well, Brittany watched, she crushed it. Same. But think about it.
Closing this door again.
Yeah, go for it. That roast is live. Then it's up for a week. I bet those numbers are similar to like an NFL game. Now, it was announced yesterday, Netflix will broadcast their first 2 NFL games. They're getting Christmas Day games.
Yeah.
So they will be broadcasting Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, Texans. Here we go. You guys know what this is going to happen. Everybody listening. Here's what's going to happen. This is just going to give Netflix more reason if this is the start. Even though
more reason to what?
Fucking charge more.
Oh yeah.
So it's like now here's the thing. Most NFL contracts I think are signed through like 2033.
Most NFL like of the TV deals. Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to work, but everybody will pay it. Netflix is smart. They'll say, okay, it's now $25 a month because people will even like those are prime games. It's on Christmas.
Who doesn't have Netflix though? Does anybody have to sign up for Netflix for this fucking NFL thing?
It's true.
If you don't have Netflix at this point, is this what's getting you to sign up to Christmas Day NFL games? You didn't watch.
There's a boomer Lions fan out there. Yes.
You didn't watch fucking the Tom Brady roast. You didn't watch Tiger King. You didn't watch any of all the things that have happened on Netflix. You were just like, nah. In the middle of a pandemic, everybody's talking about Tiger King. You're like, not interested. Pass.
Lions Vikings, gotcha.
Lions Vikings. That's where you're in.
There's some boomer Detroit Lions fan who's like, I don't want to miss.
Is that the game, by the way? Lions Vikings?
No, it's not. I'm just tossing out a random game.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is great for the NFL. You know why? Netflix is global.
Yeah.
Netflix is all over the world. So suddenly, people in fucking Poland can watch the Steelers Chiefs game. And I'm sure these deals are very expensive for Netflix to pay for. We all see Amazon is paying. What was Amazon paying? $1 billion to do 1 game a week.
Yeah.
$1 billion. My thing with the NFL, and this is coming from me, and I know most people are going to fully disagree with me. I get burnt out to a certain degree, though, guys. I do. Like we're doing a schedule. This is what I'm getting to. Like a schedule release. A few people text me about it, and it's like, dude, I am Mr. NFL.
Yeah.
We all joke. I'm what's his name? The actor. I
honestly thought we were coming today to only talk about the NFL release.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to be like, you listen, Jalen Brunson scored 46 the other night. Like we're gonna have to talk about it.
Well, no, I think again, it's probably related to me starting to have, now that I have a family. I'm what's the actor? Why am I forgetting his name? Who wore the generic NFL hat?
Rob Lowe.
I'm Rob Lowe. I'm Mr. I love the NFL. But dude, it's May 15th last night. I did not watch any of the schedule release. I need a break, man. Because when I'm in during the season, I'm in. We all know that. Joe knows that, especially with 30.
Well, somebody said that to me yesterday. They're like, you see the schedule? I was like, no. Why do I need to see a schedule release? Why in the fuck? Who in the fuck needs to watch it be announced?
Millions of people.
I know, it's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous. Millions of people, and I get the social media aspect.
That's why Colin Cowherd doesn't know that Jalen Brunson once was on the Mavericks, because he's too busy watching the NFL fucking schedule release.
But you're right.
Let's see him do it. Let's see him do it in the West.
And social media was a big thing for each NFL team. Social media, and I get that. That's different, right? That lives in its own world.
Sure.
the social media.
Chargers Sims, the
I was
annual
just gonna
Chargers
say,
Sims thing.
Chargers have a great social media. And for the record, as somebody who is an admin, little flex right there. Little flex. Somebody who is an admin of a brand, running an NFL social media, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook is the easiest job ever. I love people being like, "Oh my god, the content is killer."
Give
Just the
this guy a
NFL.
raise, yeah.
Just the NFL. You know how easy.
Yeah.
You know how easy the Bengals were looking for a social media, a new admin, and so many people sent that to me. I go, no way in hell. I go, one, the pay is shit, and two, like I wouldn't want to work for the disgusting family that owns the Bengals, even though every dork has been brainwashed ever since Joe Burrow was drafted. But I'm like, it's an easy gig. Stop acting like, oh my god, the content that these admins put out, dude. You and I talk about all the time. NFL fans will eat, sleep, and drink everything. They're getting soaked for a schedule release.
Getting soaked.
What did I say?
You said, did you say getting soaked?
I meant
Or
I
getting
said stoked, or I thought I said
No,
stoked.
I like them soaking their pants for it too.
They are.
Yeah.
And look, I love you, Justin. I love you. I gotta mention this though. Well, first of all, I'm glad you're all right. Justin got in a car wreck.
I did see that, and he's just got a new car.
Yeah. So that's our guy, Randy Ruther. So we're glad you're all right. Hope everything works out with your car. But I gotta bust your balls a little, Justin. He sent me pictures of the wreck, and I'm like, that sucks. Thank God you're all right. And then he said, no lie. Well, I don't want to misquote him, so I should probably just pull it up so I
He was
can
like,
see.
no lie, I'm at Q's on Wilshire right now.
He said, hold on, you're gonna laugh at this.
Why am I not on the Randy Andy thread anymore?
Well,
I haven't gotten a text from Justin in fucking months. I took the guy to one Tyler Childers concert, and now he fucking cut me off forever.
This is just one between me and him. He sent me, the pictures from the car wreck. I'm sore as fuck, but the schedule release just made this day amazing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Dude gets in a car. He described the schedule release as making his day amazing. This is why the NFL is king.
What's so funny too is like, I'm a Giants fan, so our opponents have been locked since the end of last year. So I knew who we were playing. Like, I knew every single game on our schedule. It's literally just time and place.
Well, did you know every game? You knew obviously division foes and the team from the other conference.
And then the team in your own conference, because you
True.
play the other team from your conference that finished in the same spot.
No, there was probably 2 or 3 games you didn't know.
No. Well, how do you figure?
Because here's how the NFL does it. You play your division.
Yeah.
You play
your division twice. Right?
So
you play your division
6
twice.
Games.
Then you play another division from the other conference.
So that's 4 more.
Right?
So that's 10.
Then you play every team in your conference that's not in your division that finished in the same spot you did.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So like you play like the Giants this year. I don't know what team in the division. Then they're playing. I think you also play another division in your conference, right? And then you play the Giants finished third.
I thought there was 3 games you didn't know because so again 6 games in your division, 4 from another division in your conference. So now you're up to 10.
Yeah.
4 from the other conference. So now you're up to 14. I thought there was 3 games you didn't know.
You do. The 3 other divisions in your conference, you play the team that finished in the same position you did.
So if you finished 4th, you play 4th.
Yeah. The Giants have had their opponents since the end of week fucking 17 or 18. So now it's just time and place. I'm like, oh, it's a Sunday night game. It literally, for me, it just, the only thing I care about the schedule is like, where can I go on the road to watch them play?
Well, you don't know the buys.
Right.
No, look, I'm just trying
It's a week 7 bye. Giants. I found out the Giants are playing Carolina in Munich.
You get the Bengals on a primetime game.
I know. Justin texted me the second it dropped. Sunday Night Football in Prado.
It is funny to me. I mean, but people like it was dominating social media.
Yeah.
And then everybody makes their predictions. Everybody already makes, dude, it's so funny to me. Every local beat reporter is already making their predictions in May. Like not even letting training camp happen. And again, this is why they're king though. They have gotten people so turned because every fan, like I looked at a curiosity, the local paper here is already they picked every single Bengals game. They're predicting 11-6. The beat writer for the Bengals on the Athletic 12-5. And I just laugh and I'm like,
are you in the comment section?
I did. I trolled him. I couldn't resist. I trolled the Athletic guy. I just wrote, and by the way, I think the Bengals will win a lot of games. I do. But I'm just like, we're just going to ignore that Zach Taylor's 10-20 in the division. We're just going to, because he picked the Bengals to win the division. We're just going to ignore he's 10-20. So he sucks. He's not bad. He sucks. And the 2 years they won the division, Lamar Jackson got hurt. Now there's a good chance he gets hurt again. There's also a good chance Joe Burrow gets hurt again. So I don't know. I just laugh. I feel like Joe, no lie, like we're the only ones in any sort of sports media who are like, yeah, regular season's cool. I just care what you do in the postseason.
Oh, in terms of like judging the success of your team and all that. I
100%.
mean, the truth is that that's the NFL, man. You know what's so funny about NFL fans is I saw a couple of things like, how is this actually the Giants? So Justin sent me the tweet announcing Giants Bengals Sunday night and all the fucking things under it. Like, how in the fuck is this a Sunday night football game? It's like, you're not even a real NFL fan if you can't admit you have no idea what's going to happen this year. Like that is the beauty of the NFL, the parity. Like if you're saying with like complete certainty that the Giants are going to be trash this year, you don't know that's not how the NFL works, man. So yeah, in the NFL specifically, year in and year out, the playoff teams always shift, whatever. Like it is a league where the TV rights are massive and just going up. Every game sells out. Every primetime game is the number one thing watched of the week. It's not alone. It is a Super Bowl or bust league. They're not doing 4 tickets for $100 for a hot dog and a fucking thing. They're like, motherfucker, it's $100 to park. The only definition of success in the NFL is to win the Super Bowl, or if you've just been absolute trash, to like start competing in the playoffs in hopes that you will win the Super Bowl in the next couple of years.
So people were mad that the Giants, who again are New York, so obviously huge media, biggest market, were getting a Sunday night against the Bengals, who have marquee stars.
Yeah.
That's a great matchup for prime time.
But also the idea, the audacity of an NFL, the audacity to pretend to be an NFL fan and then say these teams are trash or whatever. It's like, we're 3 years removed from everybody being like the Bengals are trash. They went to the fucking Super Bowl. Like, pretending you know what's going to happen in this NFL season is the number one sign you're a fucking casual.
100%. Baker Mayfield took the Bucs to a playoff berth last year.
And won a game.
Did they? Oh, they beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. I could be the Lions game.
Who should have all the primetime games because they signed all the people. Howie Roseman's a genius. La, 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 la. Do you guys not, like, it's like you don't even fucking watch They lost to the Bucks in a playoff game last year. Tap the fucking brakes on knowing which, how many NFL pundits on ESPN, Fox, Good Morning Football, how many of them you think get every playoff team right this year?
None. And that's why we do love the game, because it is so.
That's literally the whole point
right.
of the fucking game.
Because these teams come out of nowhere, and you just go, "You like the Texans won the division with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, and they won a playoff game."
And you know how many people are going to pick the Texans to win the division this year because they did that last year, only for the fucking Colts or somebody to win the division this year?
Yeah, again, that's
like the idea. I bet you could go through NFL schedule tweets right now and find some week 15 or 16 Sunday night game where they're like, "This is amazing. We're getting Ravens fucking Niners on week 15." One of those teams will be fucking 4-11 when it happens, because Lamar Jackson gets hurt, or fucking Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, or God knows what else. Like, that's the NFL. And actually, even in the last couple of years, the NFL has been a little bit more predictable than it has been in the past. But still, to this day, the idea that you're penciling in, oh, here's the team that's going to win the fucking division. Lions going to win the division. Like, oh, okay.
And injuries, man. The stats are there to back it up. With them playing 17 games, the injuries, we saw it last year. How many different guys started quarterback?
Yeah.
The injuries, that's why I love the if healthy.
Right.
You know how rare it is for guys to consistently play 17 games, all 17 games, year in and year out. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. It's why I always say, and I'm sorry, Charles Barkley, to take another dig at you. This was another, what I would call, casual take that he was saying on Shannon Sharp. He was one of those old heads who's like, man, all these records in the league, all these QB records, they're going to be broken. No, they're not, because the guys don't play.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a casual. You're a casual if you think every single NFL QB is going to throw for the amount of yards that Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers or Eli Manning did. You're a casual.
Or that they're going to play 15 years in the NFL.
Because they don't.
They just,
The injuries.
Also, we're now at a point where people are getting smarter about quarterback contracts, where, like, look at how many guys. I mean, the idea, if you go back 10 years ago, the idea that Russell Wilson doesn't finish his career as a Seahawk after winning a Super Bowl there is ludicrous. He's on his second new team since then. He's on his second new team. The days of this guy is our franchise guy and he's here until he retires. Why? Now everybody's getting smart about the money and getting smart about what they pay. So it's like, where's the value in paying this guy when I can do the rookie deal thing? By the way, speaking of which, we got to talk about the Goff contract, right?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I didn't even.
And I just sent you something that I feel like, is it possible for you to throw up something I texted you? Because I just like this. This is an interesting thing to me for, like, how quarterbacks are judged, because neither of us are the world's biggest Jared Goff fans, but then Jared Goff got a huge deal, but now the whole world thinks certain guys are great quarterbacks, and it's like blah 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 blah. I just sent you.
I see it. Let me convert. This stuff. Let me see if I can just screen share. Okay. So this is Jared Goff versus
Jalen Hurts for basically Jalen Hurts' whole career and Jared Goff in the same years. Basically the exact same amount of games. It's like 62 games, 63 games. So, like, Jalen Hurts' whole career versus Jared Goff in the same seasons, which obviously a couple of those are on the Rams and most of them are on the Lions.
They make this. They don't make this easy. So we have Jared Goff, who let me hold on a second.
Who just got a mega deal.
Yeah. Okay, this is all right. Let me try this. So Goff gets the Goff. Go over what is the Goff contract?
212 for 4 years. Yeah, I think it's 53 million a year for.
No, I got to change settings. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
They're all good.
Actually, what I could do is, so look up that contract real quick.
Jared Goff. Signing bonus. Where's the fucking? First of all, 170 million guaranteed.
So he's getting 170 million guaranteed.
Yeah. 4-year, 212 with 170 million guaranteed. Somebody who is a Lions fan, do you like it or love it?
Yeah, it's not a good contract, man.
Listen, it's only 4 years. I get it. You know, it's not some fucking $500 million Patrick Mahomes mega deal, blah, 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 blah. But it's 53. It's a $53 million a year contract. It's 170 million guaranteed.
All right. So you sent me, I'll just pull it up because this is being too much of a pain in my ass. So basically, you're sending me a head-to-head regular season?
No, it starts off with their regular season record versus one another. But in the 62 games since Jalen Hurts' career started, in that time, Jared Goff has played 63 games. Record is obviously better for Jalen Hurts. Completion percentage and passing yards is better for Jared Goff. Yards per attempt, slightly better for Jalen Hurts. Passing yards per game, significantly more for Goff, 257 to 189. Passing TDs, significantly more for Goff, 98 to 67. Interceptions, more for Goff, 40 to 34. Rating, better for Goff, 94.9 to Jalen Hurts' 91.1.
Well, so Goff is throwing a lot more passes.
Yep.
And Hurts is getting a lot more rushing,
obviously,
and rushing touchdowns and rushing yards.
Yeah. My point is simply this. The contract, which I don't like for Goff, is kind of like Lions fans love it. Everybody else is kind of roasting it. Oh, you're paying him like you're paying some elite quarterback. Meanwhile, everybody kind of famously is like, well, obviously the Jalen Hurts deal makes sense. He's an elite quarterback. And it's like, I think they're a lot closer than y'all think.
So here's my,
and I'm not the biggest fan of either one, but I'm just saying, like, kind of they're swimming in a similar pool.
Well, so Goff surprised me the way he played last year.
Yeah,
and he played really well. But again, he was a Ram. I lived in LA, watched a lot of games live. Guys, here's my thing on Goff. He scored 3 points in the Super Bowl with Sean McVay. Sean McVay.
Who we have a little bit on here. We'll do next, probably.
Yeah, we got a little bit. I'm gonna show you how good Sean McVay is here by showing this video in a second. Sean McVay, who you could argue is the best offensive mind in the NFL. I know a lot of people want to say Shanahan. I'd say, well, Sean McVay's won a Super Bowl. Shanahan hasn't.
Yeah.
I tip my hat to Sean McVay in that discussion. Said we cannot win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Well, I don't know if he said that, but he definitely said we can for sure win a Super Bowl if we go get Matthew Stafford.
But that's my point. He got rid of Jared Goff.
Yeah. He chose Matthew Stafford over Jared Goff.
Correct.
Sean McVay believes Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. And I think is clearly right.
But the Lions are basically saying Sean is wrong, even though he's kind of been proven right because they instantly won a Super Bowl without Jared Goff and with Matthew Stafford. I think it's
well, listen, the Lions could also have believed in Matthew Stafford was better, but also we're not ready to win the Super Bowl yet. Let's take a bunch of first rounders for him.
It's been great. The Lions have played it great. They obviously
worked out for everybody.
Yeah, they worked out for everybody. They made it to the NFC Championship last year. Sadly, blew that game. The whole 9 yards. I think it's not a good contract for all those reasons. Didn't the Lions just lose their offensive coordinator too?
I don't know. I'm not going to Colin Cowherd you here.
Didn't he just become a head coach?
I don't even remember who their offense coordinator was.
Is it Ben Johnson?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Ben Johnson?
Yes.
Or am I completely wrong?
No, I think you're right. Did he not leave though?
No, he did not leave. I'm incorrect. So that pairing has worked out great. Ben Johnson's crushed it. So I think Goff should have another good year. But again, I know they're in a tough spot because they did go so far last year. You don't want to get rid of Goff. I get that. But I'll just say this right now. I'd be shocked if Goff won a Super Bowl. I said this forever. I'd be shocked. I don't think he's winning a Super Bowl. I just don't. You can't win one with Sean McVay. Dude, they held the Patriots to 3 points through 3 quarters. 3 points. And they lost the game. Because they couldn't score.
Also, is there some part of you that thinks, let me ask you, and I know we're Lions haters. I'm not being a Lions hater. I'm not answering the question.
No, I'm not a Lions hater.
No, we've been accused of being Lions haters.
Dude, they've turned it around. They're fun to watch. I like them.
Lions win the division this year?
Let's see here. I'm just trying to spitball this. So it'd be probably between them and the Packers.
The Packers. You also have a Vikings team that's finally rid of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
and you have a Caleb Williams.
No, I don't. I think it's between them and the Packers. Do the Lions win the division? I'll be honest. I don't know enough about the Packers defense right now.
Do the Lions play in the NFC Championship game again?
No, because I know how hard it is to get back-to-back years.
My point I'm sending you that graphic is this. Exactly what I was just saying about all these teams. Like, fucking Bengals, Giants on Sunday Night Football. You guys everybody just like proves themselves. Like, and now now the team that we've penciled in is the Eagles with their superstar quarterback, who is Jared Goff.
And by the way, me saying it's not that I'm being a Lions hater that they won't make it. Dude, I just do things off odds.
I've said that recently. It's like when you ask me, will this guy win a ring? I'm going to say no. I'll basically say no matter who it is. Is Josh Allen going to win a ring in the NFL? No. I'll say no because it's easier to say. The odds are he's not going to.
Yeah, the odds are. Exactly. So you're basically playing a game of math. And statistically speaking, I know how hard it is. It's the same way fans get stuck in this recency bias all the time with the NFL, especially the NFL. Eagles fans.
The truth is, from year to year, there is no recency. Like
there is none, unless you're the Chiefs or the Patriots back in the day.
Right.
I mean, I see it. You know who I see it the most with right now? The Eagles and their fans and the Bengals and their fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, cool. The Bengals made the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Eagles made the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Like everybody has those teams crushing it. And I'm not saying that they might not have a lot of
Bengals
wins.
missed the playoffs last year. The Eagles lost a wild card game to the Bucs.
And again, injuries, man. Who's the quarterback for the Eagles if Jalen Hurts goes down?
I don't know the answer to that. Kenny Pickett?
I mean, just everything changes. You know, if NFL fans, I can imagine if I'm picturing this. If NFL fans took the glass half full mentality in their life, everybody'd be crushing it in life. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were an optimistic, positive person and you believed in your fandom like you do in your job, in your family, in your relationships, dude, you'd be crushing it. Don't you find it ironic that the guy who hates his job goes to work, literally hates his job, hates his wife, his kids annoy him, but then when it comes
is certain that the Lions going to the NFC Championship game last year means this year they go to the Super Bowl and win.
That's my point. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, dude, everything else you're like so Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But not your football team.
When the truth is your life is on a way more consistent track in one direction or the other than your football team, which from year to year, the NFL, no one can fucking predict anything.
So I got a buddy who does that. He sends me the most cherry-picked tweets and Instagram posts and even Facebook posts
about the Bengals
of Bengals stuff. And I don't even have the time to get into it with him. I just want to say, dude, you're sending me a post from Bengals fan zone on Facebook. Like, what's your source? What is your source? And you're the same guy who's like, I don't trust the media, which is fine because I think a lot of the media is bullshit too. But you're also the same guy who like sees the headline and calls it out, rightfully so, who's like, people are upset at X, Y, and Z. And that's just a CNN or Fox News article literally grabbing 3 people's tweets saying people are upset. You see the bullshit in that, but you don't see the bullshit in sending me Bengals fan zone Facebook post.
Right.
like,
and listen,
what?
I'm a Giants fan. Do I think that the Giants win the Super Bowl this year? Absolutely not. What percent chance do I think they have? Less than 1. Less than 1. It's not 0 because it's the NFL, but it's probably less than 1. Are the Giants winning the Super Bowl this year? No. But at the same time, I get all the same things from my friends because we're like down right now. And it's like, the Eagles did this and they got Saquon and now and the Cowboys won the division. And now the Commanders have Jaden Daniels and we're going to be in the. I go, sorry, bro. I can't do the fucking.
Well, also,
I can't do the pessimistic fan thing right now because we're a season removed from winning a playoff game.
And nobody expected that.
Right. It's just like I'm not gonna do the dog in the room on fire. Everything is fine. Fucking like it's just like, dude,
you know what it is
NFL.
though, Joe? You know what it is mostly? It's also people never look at defense. They don't. So everybody focuses on the
coaching staffs or whatever. Like last year, the Eagles lose both of their coordinators. And then just go, oh, we're going back to the Super Bowl.
Nobody ever looks at the defense. Ever. And you're like, whoa, if you have, and you know this is a Giants fan, especially from 2 years ago. Dude, if you got a decent defense and you stay in games, you win a lot of ball games. You win a lot of ball games in the NFL if you have a decent defense. I mean, last year is a prime example. Dude, Joe Flacco took the Browns to 11 wins.
Yep.
Joe Flacco. So it's like all these backups because they were on teams with decent defenses. Anyway, I want to get to this Sean McVay clip because this thing is insane.
Yeah.
The Rams posted this on their TikTok. And basically it's a Rams produced video with, I guess, one of the like the people who works for the Rams social media or whatever. And he has a trivia question for each opponent of the Rams this year. But I think they stop it at 15 for some reason or 14.
Oh, you've run out of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, it's a trivia question based on each Rams opponent. And you guys got to hear this or watch this.
Yeah, they're not even really trivia because they're weird fucking.
They're weird questions, dude. All right. So this is it.
The Rams 2024 schedule just dropped, and Sean McVay, we're going to test your trivia knowledge with some questions about each opponent on the slate. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
2021, Week 7. Lions are at SoFi. First and goal at the 5, early fourth quarter. Give us your play call.
Yeah, it was a great touchdown pass from Matthew to Cooper Kupp. That was lab to south right, close, fire two fly X crossers. Got him in a man coverage right there. Cooper just outflanked him. Good throw and catch.
All right, which team did Aaron?
Bro, I'm going to stop after the first question.
I know. The audacity to even call this trivia is so offensive to me. You imagine you go to fucking trivia night at the bar, and instead of they'll be like, all right, we're doing pop culture. And instead of being like, what was Chandler on Friends' last name? They're like, what size shirt did Chandler wear? And what was the length of the inseam of his pants? You'd be like, excuse me? How in the world would anybody know that? Well, on season 4, episode 19, he goes to a tailor and they speak about it, and you're like, okay, that's not trivia, dude. This is autism.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
This is insane.
Aaron Donald get his 100th career sack against?
It was a heck of a play. Full layout on Kyler Murray against the Cardinals. I have a picture of it. I still got to get him to sign that one.
In the 2021 NFC Championship, Cooper Kupp had an extremely rare emotive reaction to his catch. What play call led to that grab?
So he's asking about a play call at the end of the 2021 NFC Championship. Listen to this.
Good old-fashioned choice for him. It was F-mo to south-left clamp minus, 3 jet, F-choice stucco, man pressure, what a throw and catch. I mean, fitted in a tight window with Kwan Williams right there, and then the run after the catch, he looked like Wolverine celebrating after that thing.
The Bears' last Super Bowl appearance was after the 2006 season. Who performed at halftime that year?
Had to be Prince.
I mean, like,
how many toothpicks are on the floor right now? 84, 246.
This is insane.
Fuck is going on here?
Cup, that was lab to south right.
Oh, hold on, I skipped ahead. Oops, I skipped.
Got him in a man coverage right there. Cooper just outflanked him. Good
Sorry,
throw.
hold on.
You get it.
Unlike Sean McVay, I'm not autistic. I don't know how to fucking run this. Okay.
It's Donald Driver is up.
He knows the Green Bay Packers 3
Donald
career.
Driver is up there. James Lofton and Sterling Sharp got to be the top 3.
All right, so far so good. You're undefeated at the bye. Thursday night football against the Raiders 22. How much time was left on the clock when the Rams got the ball for their game-winning drive?
Probably about 1:45.
2018.
You know what would be
Vikings
fun?
At Rams.
Sean McVay fucking arguing with his wife. You know?
Oh my
He's
God.
like, you said we'd go to Karen's house for a barbecue this week. He's like, actually, I did it. What I said word for word 16 months ago was that provided I don't have to watch tape, that we think about it.
He's unbelievable.
Following Robert Woods' touchdown, he celebrated with which rapper in the stands?
YG.
What was the play call for Puka's first career reception?
It was Y-mo to south left clamp, Jack's right, Y Coors Palm. It's a nice little curl route.
How many games did the late, great Don Shula win?
347.
And for the first 7 years of your career, you were the youngest head coach in the National Football League. Who took that torch from you this January?
Yeah, it would be Gerard Mayo.
Tyler Higbee had a
Would it be
standout
funny if he was
performance.
like, I don't know,
against
the black guy on the Patriots? Like, fuck, dude, this is the only one you don't know?
the Eagles in 2020. What was his stat line from that game?
3 catches, 3 touchdowns, over 50 yards.
Following John Johnson's interception in overtime of the 2018
How's he
NFC
know all this
Championship
shit?
game, what was the name of his celebratory dance?
Chopper style, and he was going ham.
What year did Jim Kelly retire from the National Football
I would
League?
never know
That
this.
was 96, I believe.
You are undefeated in their stadium, but you have yet to beat one of the team that plays there.
Yeah, we've had a couple appearances
That's an
against the
easy one.
Giants. Now we got to go play the New York Jets at MetLife this year.
Talk about knowing your foe.
I have no life, really.
We get that.
I love at the end when McVay says that. I have no life really.
If you saw, let me ask you, feel like we've both always sort of been Sean McVay stands, but like let's try to separate ourselves from what we already know about him. If you saw that clip and that clip alone, and then they were like, you could have him or your coach. Is there a team whose coach you'd rather have after seeing that? Like I can't,
No.
like that clip alone is like, I'll just take Sean McVay. Like Sean McVay is the best coach in the NFL.
Well, and it goes back to what I was saying about Jared Goff. If Boy Genius over here, if Rain Man Jr. has seen enough live, because he remembers everything live, and also on film a Jared Goff and goes a different direction, that's all I need to know. I mean, let's not forget, guys.
They're like, Sean, the Dirty Sports podcast describes that medium pizza. One topping. One topping, Little Caesars. Medium.
This is a guy who just lives for football. I mean,
like whatever if it wasn't football, he'd be this way about whatever like.
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
His parents are just happy it's not fucking Pokemon.
Yeah. It's next level to know. Like, it's one thing, like some of those, I'll be honest, some of those were fluff. Like,
okay, still, he fucking knew exact play calls of guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, hold on. I'm saying the play call is next level. Like, I'm saying fluff is in like the Don Shula, like, okay, knowing the Don Shula wins or a touchdown celebration. He's around these players all the time. But
I feel like Sean McVay in high school creeped so many fucking people out. He's like, Sally, you haven't worn this exact outfit since April 16th, 91. She's like, Mr. Johnson, can I switch desks?
And let's not forget, I believe he was player of the year in Georgia over Calvin Johnson. He was a stud. He was a stud high school player, receiver, and I believe DB. But dude, he grew up. Let's not forget, wasn't his grandfather the GM of the Niners?
I'm not Sean McVay, so I don't remember.
I'm saying this guy is he's almost like an
yeah. I remember you saying that now on episode 647, which we recorded while we were.
He's a like almost like an AI. Oh, yeah, no, I'm correct. His grandfather, John McVay, was a head coach at University of Dayton for 7 years.
Dayton!
Then he became the head coach of the Giants in the 70s.
Giants!
And he was GM of the Niners for the team's 5 Super Bowl championships.
Wow.
And I'm incorrect. He played quarterback in high school.
I was going to say, when you said that, I was like, it's crazy he didn't play quarterback.
Quarterback and DB.
Crazy. Yeah, I was like, it's crazy he didn't play quarterback knowing the game like that fucking, like you would think even if you can't throw.
Yeah, I am correct in this. He was Georgia's 4A Offensive Player of the Year over Calvin Johnson. And then he played locally here not too far from here up at Miami University. Wait a second. Did I just realize something?
What?
No, he just missed it. I was going to say, was there a crossover with Big Ben at Miami and McVay? Big Ben was drafted in 2004. McVay started in 2005.
I wonder if with Sean McVay's like clearly photographic memory, if right now he could like redraw the University of Miami, Ohio campus right now and mark all the spots where Big Ben raped somebody.
What do you think he studied at Miami?
Fuck. I have no clue.
He graduated in 2008 with.
I feel like all the athletes are like usually like comm majors, but he seems too fucking. Is he a physicist?
No, it was not. That's right. Health and sports studies.
Okay. So he was just doing this. He always knew he was doing this.
You know what's crazy about Sean McVay?
Besides his raging autism?
He's still only 38, dude. Like, he's still only 38. I mean, that's absolutely nuts. He's still only 38.
And if you ask Sean McVay how old are you? He's like, 13,911 days. No, it's just like years is cool.
I mean, that's we've seen LeBron have an amazing memory on some plays. This is just
Yeah.
this is next level. Well, I know you like we got to keep it a little tighter. You're flying to Las Vegas.
I'm flying to Las Vegas this afternoon. I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club tonight, opening for Adam Carolla. 2 shows tonight. And then fly back tomorrow up in the San Luis Obispo area for shows all weekend. High Street Deli, very famous deli. Ooh, I guess they're don't tells, I should say. But Los Osos tomorrow. And then Napomo on Saturday, San Luis Obispo area. You can go to don'ttellcomedy.com/San Luis Obispo, I think. So Vegas tonight, San Luis Obispo area tomorrow, back, bunch of shows in and around California for a bit. And then, of course, back to the East Coast. End of July, Yonkers Comedy Club, last weekend of July. Vegas again, early August. Brad Garrett's, all those and more. JoePrano.com or at Joe Prano on all social media.
Cool. And again, guys, would love you guys to subscribe for my new podcast, The Andy Ruther Show, available or any podcasts are available. And I'll be doing new episodes weekly with that. Give us a ring, 310-359-8365. Sorry we didn't get any calls today, but definitely leave a call if you have any insight into any of these things. And special shout out to all our Substack subscribers. And guys, go ahead and subscribe there because, like I said, we got some good content coming, and I believe we have another guest coming up here.
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yep.
So definitely check that out. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.